FilmLab Africa is an initiative that's launched to help Nigerian filmmakers and Africa as well.
FilmLab has been a transformative experience for me. I learned a lot in FilmLab, especially being a producer.
I really want to see something good come out of young people, and I'm excited learning that some of those movies were made with phone, like mobile photography is becoming a thing.
This is your first time hearing about FilmLab Africa?
I saw it on Facebook. So I quickly jumped at it because this is the space I belong to.
I'm expecting a lot of connections to be done today. I'm expecting a lot of networking to be done today. I'm expecting to meet a lot of people.
In coming here, no matter, I know that I'm going to learn something that has to do with filmmaking, so that I picked up one or two things from today's program that can help somebody out there.
Basically, it's an initiative of the British Council. It was brought together to as a platform to empower young filmmakers, to turn them from being producers into entrepreneurs, for the film business. And it seemed to have worked. We had 60 participants, in the project, and then 20 of them were giving grants, 10 microfilms, 10 short films. So we're here now, to discuss, to showcase all of these films as well, some of these films to the Abuja community, but most importantly to have a conversation around, the rise of independent films, the challenges, the opportunities within the landscape. So it just felt nice, we've done this in Lagos, we are going to the UK next month, so it felt nice to shut down the Nigeria version of it, pre-UK, in Abuja, because the vibe is different, 100%.
So what British Council is doing right now is basically to, make young people to be ready, for the challenges that are, out there in the industry. I see from the participants here a crop of new filmmakers, people that will go into different trades, or different callings, cameramen, script writers, editors, designers, producers, directors, and so on and so forth. Lots of people are going to come out of this.
No knowledge is waste. So I really want to know more about the business aspect of filmmaking. And again, networking is one of the basic things that helps us in life now. So I think one of the major things I want to learn now is networking. And then I want to not learn. One of the other things that brought me here is networking. And I think I've seen more than enough people again that I've been seeing probably on the TV, social media and all that.
I would love to know more about this because I don't know when the next badge is coming up. I should be in. I have other people, I have other actors I'm grooming and filmmakers I'm grooming. I think I should be able to pass the information to them also, to engage in the competition and see how they get themselves the grants.
My God, I love to talk to people, and seeing this many people here, I feel like I'm in heaven. So I'm looking forward to talking to people, networking with people, learning from some of the industry execs that are present here today, just taking in whatever it is that I can get from this event.
We are just here to kind of create a relationship between the Nigerian people and the UK people. So in the arts team, we create this relationship through events, like this film club, events, projects, just anything arts and creativity. Yeah, it's just like connecting creative people here in Nigeria and creative people in the UK, building relationships, help them to work together, understand each other's culture.
So how do you retain, your creative, the creative license to create a film that you want, in the creative, I'm using the word creative because there are some films that they are absolutely creative. They are so, especially short films, but then they do not have commercial viability. So how do you navigate? And I'm sure that there are people here that, they are struggling with that as well, because we had that at the Film Lab where we saw quite a number of scripts, but then we knew that the commercial viability, it's all in your head, for us to even translate it into something that people want to even come and watch is something else. So how do you maintain, that balance?
Okay, so because we're here to teach you guys, I'm going to use myself as an example a lot. One of the things that you must understand as a filmmaker is that you have to be sensitive to the industry itself. The happenings, the trends, and the things that are happening in the industry is something that you must pay attention to. It's very important that you do that. So who is producing what? Who is making what kind of money? The numbers that are coming from the cinemas. Who went to see what? Who did who? Who are the top actors this year? Who are the... And all of this you can find from watching award events. You know, just things from around the industry. You have to pay attention. Because if, for example, I say to myself, oh, next year I'm going to make a couple of films, I should be able to know what the industry might be looking at for next year. Because already films that are going to be coming out next year, people are already talking about them now. They're already having a conversation about them. They're already talking about it. A lot of times you have to read, go to Shock NZ, Nollywire, all of these places, because these are places where you get information, who and who is thinking what and what are they trying to do. It's very important that you keep that. For me, my creative process starts from what is going to be relevant in terms of, oh, what is going to be commercially successful. You know, and then you now start telling yourself, if I'm going to make this film next year, who and who are the top actors that are making it this year that are going to be relevant next year? So that when I'm going to cast, I'm casting people that are naturally drawing people to the cinema. This you have to be sensitive to. So if you're trying to, I mean, for me, I feel like there are two types of filmmakers. Those who are doing it for the passion and really don't care about commercial success. They just want to make film. They just want to make it and see that they produce something. But there are some of us, that is, we are going to make it because we have to make... No, it's very important that you understand that. Because you have to define who you are as a filmmaker, because it helps you to begin to think about what you have to do. You can't just jump into the water and say, meanwhile there are crocodiles in that water, you didn't know. No, something should have told you that there's something here, because you have to be sensitive. So for me, when I say I'm about to make a film, the idea is that this film has to be commercially successful. And I'm thinking about doing a faith-based film. Who and who made a success with faith-based films this year? It's a thought process that you have to go through. And so I'm thinking, I'm like, wait, Breath of Life made a lot of sense this year as a faith-based film. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? What that means is that people will watch a faith-based film if you do it right. Yes. So I decided I was going to do something called Strong, which is a faith-based film. Because I know that once I put it out there, there's already a hunger for faith-based film. So people will naturally go and see it. Now you're asking yourself a question, let's check it and see. Who and who is making it now in this industry? And all of a sudden, Sophia Lakija is on my radar because the woman is hot on YouTube. Are you people understand what I'm saying? Yes. Sophia Lakija, Chris Okagwe, they are all hot on YouTube. And I said to myself, if you cast these two, you put them together, you're going to have chemistry. It's a faith-based film, but it has to be beautiful. You're looking for eye candies. These are processes, these are thought processes that you must think about. But first of all, you have to start thinking about the story. So it's a faith-based film, but it is not a Mount Zion faith-based film. You would die and go to hell. It has its place, don't get me wrong. Those films will make you repent if you watch them. They have their roots, they have their... My audience, I'm called to young, funky people like you who would want to see beautiful things. By the time you finish watching my film, you're asking yourself question, wait, I've not been to church in a while. Hi. That's the idea. So I'm telling a story that is not in your face, but when you finish watching it, something tells you, wait, this is something that I've encountered or something that I'm about to... Do you understand where I'm coming from? But then I'm not doing the in your face, you have to go. That's not what I'm doing. But Mount Zion has its place. This is also a thought process. You have to think through... You see, for you to be commercially successful as an indie filmmaker, you have to think about the indices when it comes to the economics of making film. Whether you're doing it for faith-based reasons, or just doing a beautiful rom-com, or you're doing a trailer, whatever it is that you're doing, you must think about those indices that make it commercially successful. Who will go and see this film? What is exciting about this story? And don't get me wrong, we're so saturated with stories now, we're reinventing ourselves, Abi. So you're going to take boy meets girl, they fall in love, and then they find out that the boy is rich. You are pretending to me. What twist can you put to that thing that will make it different? So that people think, I've seen this story before. And then something hits them in the second act, they're not like, wait, this is different. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? It has to be that. It's important that you think that way. So as a filmmaker, if you're going to survive in this indie land where you're making independent film, where a million other people are making same films and you guys are going to the same market, don't forget, it's either you're going to the cinema or you're going to the streamers or you're going to YouTube, where there are million and one films in YouTube, where you know how you do it, be flipping through and just looking for faces. They will pass your film. You will not even know that they pass your film because there are million and one films that are on that platform. Or you go to Netflix where they say this year alone they're only taking 24 films from Nigeria. And imagine if there are 1,000 films coming to them. You're on this. How do you get into that 24 with your room and parlor story? And you're not. They will discharge you sharp. Or you say you want to go to cinema. That's fine. Have you made a cinematic movie before? Do you have the money to market there? Are you ready to dance on TikTok? To market your film? These are things that you must consider as an indie filmmaker. So you tell yourself, oh, I'm about to make this film and I have 5 million naira. And you borrowed the 5 million naira. You went and told an investor, oh, I'm going to turn the world around. I'm going to give you 50 million after this 5 million. You have entered though. You better know. So in summary, for me, my creative process, I'm always sensitive to when I'm about to make a film. I think about what film I'm about to make and how impactful will it be? How commercially successful can it be? Who has made this type of film? And what were the things that they had to encounter? What was the success rate? What were the failures? Who are the people who are doing it now in the industry? If I'm going to cast them, I'm going to have to get the ones that are bringing people to the cinema. If I'm going to the cinema, if I'm aiming at the streamers, what is the standard? So for example, you know that if you're trying to do an original for Netflix, there are certain cameras that you have to use. Yes. It's something that you must know. So you don't go and carry your Akanchawa camera and do film and say you're going to Netflix. They will stop you at the door. They will give you cold water and thank you for coming and you go back. Because you shot with Akanchawa camera. Sorry, if somebody's name is Akanchawa here, I'm sorry. It's just a word that sounds beautiful. So these are the things that you must say to yourself. I'm going to Netflix or I'm going to Amazon Prime. There is a certain standard. You have to know what that standard is. So you apply it in producing your film. Oh, I want to go to YouTube. What's the standard in YouTube? Is there a standard in YouTube? Anyway, you just make film and go there. This is shade, but it is what it is. So think about these processes. Think about these things because they're very important for you as an indie filmmaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. How was that? I feel like I just done a little master's, right? I mean, the fact that the ownership of your creative license doesn't mean, or your creative process doesn't mean you should neglect, economic policies or whatever it is that is happening within your environment. So be sensitive, right, to what is going on regarding where you're going. And what is so powerful about what you said is it's about seeing the ending from the beginning. So you're not making film because, oh yeah, you can wake up and make your film, but where is it going? And then you walk your way backwards. That was amazing. I know you have questions, but just keep them. Real quick, I'm going to move to Mr. Sani Muazu, and I have a question for you. The question is, well, given you have an extensive experience in media and communications, and you've featured in quite a lot of international, festivals. How do you think Nigerian indie filmmakers can leverage international platforms to get global recognition?
Well, thank you for the question. There is no a quick fix for this. Dimbo had given you an expose already. Filmmakers must be very intentional and deliberate in what they're about to do. And your analysis or your knowledge of the audience is key to what you want to do. So even if you are going to the festivals, what is your reason for wanting your film, to fly across the festival journey? I know, for instance, Lionheart went to Toronto in Canada, and that was how Netflix, picked Lionheart. Is that your reason? Now, if, for instance, you're targeting Netflix, the festival is not the main target. It is the fact that there is a platform that you are targeting. And that platform needs to be studied. If you have Netflix in mind, what is Netflix showing today? Who is watching Netflix? Have you checked the data? Do you know how many people are watching Nigerian films on Netflix? Do you know the kind of films they're watching on Netflix? So you need to be very intentional in terms of the film you are about to produce, even before you produce it, if you want it to go to the festivals. Why do films go to festivals? The first answer to that is you may want to go to festivals mainly to expose your creativity, to link up with people, to network. You may not want to go to the festivals because you have a product that you want some scouts to watch and pick. So the reason behind your wanting to go to the festival is also key, in your intentions. But going to festivals as an indie is actually a great thing to do. That is one place you can go to in order to hone your skill. You want to know what is happening around the world? Go to festivals. You will see other filmmakers trying to showcase what they have, even if you don't have anything to show. Do you want to meet people that will inspire you, that will make you, to want to make that great film that you want? Even without a product, you can go to festivals in order to network, in order to meet people. Or do you actually have a project in mind and you want co-producers? You want to, attract investment. Festivals are opportunities for you to go and pitch what you have to people that are looking for new opportunities around the world. Or do you actually have a product that you want to take to the festival? These are some of the key questions you must be able to answer. You must be intentional in your reason to want to go to a festival. I must tell you, I've been to festivals in the past where for a week I was just roaming the streets, so to say. I didn't know why I was there. I had to sit and ask myself, why did I spend this amount of money to travel to this country and attend this festival and spend this number of days over there, before I finally realized that before attending film festivals, you must be intentional about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sorry, guys. I know that we're speaking Netflix, Amazon Prime, all these BB, and some of you are wondering, where am I going to start from? I understand that. There's a point I was going to make that I completely forgot. You see, when we're talking about creative process and, trying to find out who is doing what, that maybe you cannot have the... As a filmmaker, what have you produced and you put out there for people to see? So let me give you an example. There's a young man, check him out on Instagram. He's called Spotlight. He would do a 5 minutes or a 2 minutes short, fight, like action, fight sequence, and kiniko. If you see that thing, it's so beautiful. The first day I saw that thing, I hired him to do the fight choreography in war. And then I saw another video and I said to him, right now I'm currently in development of an action film that we're going to work with him, and he's going to direct the action part, because that is what he does. So you see, his work has put him out there. He's tagged me and I saw it and I'm not like, this is beautiful. You remember the story about these boys in Kaduna? They were using their phone with the green background to do sci-fi films. And they ended up getting support, and somebody gave them like a whole equipment. Ikorodu boys also got a whole set of equipment from Netflix. Yes. It is because they were doing things with little things, with phones. They were replicating trailers and they were putting it out there. And somebody saw it and said, you know what, we can invest in this. So as a filmmaker, you're thinking about, this money that I have, between buying Gary or entering taxi and making a film, which one do I do? You can easily take that money and make a short film and do something creative and beautiful with it. There are some Indian guys on TikTok. If you see them and the way they talk, they say, something, the guy will shout, he will now do one video and you do shout, come back. If you see the edit at the end, you're not like, wait, is it this phone that did this thing? So that's how you sell yourself. So you position yourself at the point in which everybody is trying to do something, put it out there, it won't cost you any. You see that time they are spending on TikTok. Please tag a lot of directors and producers out there. They might be looking for young filmmakers like you to collaborate with. And that is how you probably just get your time to blow. I just wanted to mention that so that you won't say, oh, we're talking all those big grammar and we're not. No. If you're indie and you're going to start from somewhere. That is a perspire to inspire moment. Right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wanted to really talk about the film festivals. And I'm trying to relate this to the work that, the Lagos. No, I was going to actually follow up on what you said about the film festival. What you said about going to festivals is actually very powerful. And the same thing as what you said about putting yourself out there. At the British Council Film Lab Africa, one of the areas we're using to showcase the films, I'm sure that, I don't know if many of you know, we had 20 filmmakers who were giving grants, £5,000 each for the 10, and then £500 each for another 10. The £5,000 were encouraged to shoot a 10-minute short film, 10 to 12-minute short films, and then the microfilms were about 3 to 5 minutes. Now, the 10 short films, we're going to be screening about 3 of them today during the film club. What is so amazing is many of them have now applied to international festivals. And what that means is the short films that were funded by the British Council, big shout out to British Council, by the way, for this project. These films are going as far as Cannes next year. So this year at the African Creative Markets, we were there and we were finalizing deals with Cannes, Cannes, right, the film festival. And what is so amazing is some of these films are going to Cannes, some are going to FESPACO. Yes. So it's so amazing, how much you can do by going to festivals. Not only, like Dimbo said, Netflix and whatnot. Whatever it is that you're able to do, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, put it out there. Go to festivals. And then when you're going to festivals, as, Mr. Sani has said, it is very important that you know the reason why you're going. Is it to network? Is it to show your product? Is it to even be a co-producer on another person's product? You have to be intentional, or as he said, you just be going around the festival circuit for no reason, just eating their small chops or whatever it is that they have available, and not making deliberate. And we spend a lot of money going to festivals. I run a festival, every November, and I see people coming, and I'm so proud of, how much work, people are willing to go, because I never knew until I got into festival that people would deliberately for one whole week go around festivals to say, I want to see what is happening there. Many times it helps your creativity as well, because you know what people are doing, you know what they are capable of, and sooner or later you just be like that guy that you said who is putting his stuff out there, a fighting technique, and now he's going to be directing a fighting sequence in a blockbuster, as far as I'm concerned, action movie. That's a big deal. So there's a spirit of putting yourself out there. There's a spirit of doing what you're doing well, ensuring that you're seeing what everybody is doing, not copying, just using common sense. And then when you're going to festivals, you go with intentionality. I think it's been amazing so far, right? I told you people, you did not clap, because we have 2 more people. And then right after that, I'm going to be asking them 1 or 2 general questions, and then I come back to you. So if you have any questions, just write it down. Okay? All right. So I'm coming to you. And what is so amazing about what I want to ask you is because you have written, quite a lot of scripts that have now gone to, Amazon, Netflix and all of that. So do you have, what would you say, to, filmmakers, indie script writers, what do they need to, know, when they are trying to aspire to this level that you've gotten to? What kind of scripts, not like this is what you have to write, but what should they consider?
Right.
Thank you.
Coming at it from a story perspective, because I'm first and foremost a storyteller and a script writer before moving into anything else. And I think that what's very important, tying into what Dimbo said about paying attention, is that as a writer, you have to balance between writing for the market and writing a story that flows naturally for you. So for instance, right now, I know that horror is having a bit of a minute, right? I do not watch horror, I do not write it, okay? Now, but if I say that, okay, I'm a storyteller and I'm a writer, and because it's in the market, therefore I will go and write one, it will not come naturally to me. So, and it's fine, there are some people that have the skill that can write what they're told to, which is fine, no problem with that. And you need to pay bills. So sometimes you will get a job that it doesn't flow naturally from you, but you can do it because you've got that skill, right? the thing about it is that there's no quick fix. I've always, if you want to be a screenwriter, start from the basics, and it's as simple as punctuation, spelling, vocabulary, grammar, format. We recently took part in a screenwriting competition, and I can't tell you the amount of scripts that, and I'm saying this, that I didn't read because from page 1 the formatting was wrong. I just wasn't going to read it, no matter how good the story is. And the truth about it is that that's how studio executives will be. That's how even indie filmmakers will be. If you're going to write a story, invest in the right tools. Get the right, what do they call that? Get the right program for it. Either it's Celtex or Final Draft or something like that, right? Tools. Brush up on your vocabulary. Brush up on your spelling. Please, this, my name is this person, I'm a, don't ever. Don't start, it is I am, please. This is just some free English. I am.
I feel well validated. Thank you.
Yes, your, and your. The three theirs.
Yes.
A part of. Sorry, and these are pet peeves. And if it, yes. So these are the little things. They're so little, but they're so big. So if you're going to go into screenwriting, fix yourself up first. All right? Read a lot of scripts. There are so many that are free. So just go and do that. And then another thing, figure out what your strengths are. I already know what my strengths are as a writer. There are some things that, like this action movie that you're writing, Dimbo can never come and ask me to write action. We did Sons of the Caliphate, and that was fantastic. You know, shout out to Dimbo for giving me a chance with that. But don't ask me to. So that figure out who you are and make no apologies for it. Me, I'm a drama, rom-com, romance girl first. That's who I am. And I mean, I take it like that. Yeah. I'll probably venture into something else, but it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, so and then another thing is learn to do what we call kill your darlings. You're good, okay? But if there's anything this industry will teach you, you will be humbled. Absolutely humbled. You will write something that even you, when you think about that line you wrote, you go, ooh, and then someone will look at, yeah, take that out. You said? You know, it's like, but why? It sounds good. Yeah, I don't like it. All right. And there you go. I remember who was it that told me? He read something that I wrote. He's like, it's pretty good, but what I need you to do is that last page, the entire conclusion, take it out. Why? You know, and I did. But the funny thing is when you kill your darlings, you make an infinitely better story. That's the truth about it. And following on that, writers' workshops. Make friends with writers, as a screenwriter, make friends with writers from all over the world. Join writers' groups, workshop your scripts. One of the most, again, like I said, this thing about being humbled. One of the most humbling things that you can do, and let me just tell you, it will hurt your feelings will be deeply hurt. I'm just telling you now. Put your script out there. Carry your baby and put the baby out there and allow people to pick at it. It'll hurt, but at the end of the day, you'll get the best product that you possibly can. I've done, and see, my fellow Nigerians, listen. We're very confident people. I mean, that whole, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? But you know what? Out there, nobody cares. Whoa. That's the first thing. And we need to take that confidence and make sure that it doesn't move into an arrogance that stops you from being corrected. As a scriptwriter, fix your mind on rewrites. Sometimes the entire thing. There is a story that I've done. I'm on my 12th draft. Oh yeah. But I look at the first draft and I am deeply embarrassed. You know, and I thank God Almighty that one did not, because I would be really embarrassed. So you need to get to a place where you're willing to learn, you're willing to be corrected, you're willing to adjust yourself, And here's the thing, the market is it goes in cycles, So you'll have your moment. You'll have your moment. Sometimes it's not a rom-com moment. Sometimes it's a drama moment. Sometimes it's a epic moment. Sometimes it's a whatnot moment, right? Sometimes you'll write something that will sit for 3, 4, 6, 7 years. That's why as a writer, always be working on something. You should always have a portfolio because something will fit somewhere. Something will fit somewhere at some point, and that's usually where that whole market thing comes in. So I think that's pretty much all I've got for this.
Thank you very much. That was very powerful. And I can see someone here or people here saying, oh, no. So we've talked to, the directors, the producers, we've talked to the distributors, we've talked to, the writers, and now we're going to the writers again. Are you guys not lucky? So we have, thank you so much, by the way, that thing you said about we being Nigerians, whoa. We are getting there, It's just not easy, We are like the lions of the jungle, all of those things. And it's, it's not easy, but we get it done. Thank you. And then it means that thing you're writing, you have to do another rewrite. Sorry. But yes, well done. So now I want to go to you, sir. You've written for, Wrote to Yesterday, Lionheart, and all of that. But what would you say you've seen as challenges now? I know that, she's mentioned quite a few. But, what would you say you've seen as challenges for, people that have written or people that want to write, for big projects such as Lionheart or Road to Yesterday, and basically for them to access global platforms?
Challenges. I don't look at challenges. I don't actually have any challenges. I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything, but I'm just saying, as a freelance creative, I create every second. I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I've been sitting here for I don't know how long. I've come up with 6 movie ideas, but that's just what I do.
How many have you come up with? Nothing yet. Okay, you will get there.
No, but that's I actually figured out my talents. Okay. So it's not writing. Writing is an offshoot of what I do. Okay. So I'm a very creative person. Oddly enough, I don't read novels. And I tell my friends I don't read anything. You give me a novel, I don't read. I don't even know how I got through college. But there's this thing that reads your thing now, and I just read aloud, or it actually helps me. My education was, I don't know, my parents weren't really around, so they just put me in front of a TV when I was a kid. So I soak up visuals. That was my film school. I didn't go to film school, so I watch films, I read scripts. I have no life. That's what I do, So I soak up all that stuff, and it helps me create. So honestly, I don't have any challenge.
Okay, but can I tell it this way? That what would you say is a challenge in writing for independent films versus big budget? Because I feel like you've done both.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I've done both, and I would say the challenge for independent film is because really no one has called me like, "Hey, Emil, help me write this really low budget something." It's never happened. So for me, it's like I'm not like I can't do it. I mean, I've actually written scripts for free. There are a lot of films out there that I helped write, or I came up with a story and I didn't have time to write it, and I gave it to people. Hey, you go write that. What I'm like, nah, don't even give me credit. Just get it out of my head. So if I was writing for myself, then I would actually have a challenge because I have no deadline.
You have no deadline?
No. So I can write this thing for 5 years because it's mine. And there's no guy calling from somewhere saying, "Where's that script? I wanted it yesterday." I'm like, "Guy, you'll get it when you get it." And that's just, because don't rush me. You want perfection. It takes time and sacrifice and some money, but just don't rush me. So when it comes to a big studio something, don't.
I was going to say.
Yeah, true. Yeah, don't be like me. Don't be like me. I can afford to do that now. But just even when I was starting out, yeah. I needed the script like yesterday and whatever. It needs to have 5 characters in 2 locations and blah blah blah. I'll do it. For me, it's really not a challenge. I just need to know what the client wants. You want the monster to come from here, jump out, kill everybody. Does I'm like, how? From the left or from the right? Like I'm pretty disciplined that way. So and I think it's because I disciplined myself just from watching film and knowing how they did stuff. I feel like I was the only person when they had like physical DVDs. I actually listened to the director's commentary. I know who, like everybody in the cast. I actually wait till the film is over. I saw everyone's names. I knew exactly what everybody was doing, and I kind of burned it into my memory. So when someone's like, I'm like, I have a near encyclopedic knowledge about film. So when someone's like, what's that film from 1982 and the gaffer was this, I'm like, yes, that guy. I'm like, how? I'm like, I don't know why, Oh, you can't, project. Thank you. Can you guys hear me now? Oh, cool. Thank you. No? I can't shout, so I'm not here to shout. Okay. But yeah, so like I said, it's for me. It's not. It just depends on what the client wants. I remember even when we're doing Lionhearts, when I was writing Lionhearts with my co-writer Ishaya Bako, we wrote the first draft. Genevieve was like, no. Add this, change this, do that, and I'm like, okay. Second draft, we went way overboard. There was all sorts of madness going on. They're like, no, in Kemawa, can't do that. He's an older guy, he can't be jumping up and down. And so we had to scale it down. Third draft came, they hated it. Went back to the first draft, and that's what they actually filmed. So for me, it really wasn't a problem. I just wanted to get it right. And I think as a creative, when you're a freelancer as well, you really want to get the best story out there. So it's whatever the client wants, really. Make sure you get it right. And that's as far as the challenge goes. But like I said, for me, I have no ego. So when someone says, hey, Emil, your first draft was crap, I'm like, okay, how can we make it better? I'm not going to run somewhere and go and cry, and like, oh, you hated what I wrote. No, it's like, so how can we make it better? So yeah, just give me more notes, give me this and that, and let's organically fix it. But again, it's one of the things I noticed. Like a lot of writers are like, we're doing this independent writer thing. You want it to be your voice, you want it to be your vision and all that. And just like Sifa says, you have to kill your darlings. You have to rewrite. Writing is rewriting. You have to rewrite until you get it right. And at that point, you can't even create in a vacuum, because you need 5 people that are not your friends to actually read this thing and tell you what they really think. Don't give it to your friends, or your friends always say, and that's great, now you're the best thing since I gave bread. That's a lie. Like, send it to people to actually pieces this thing and tell you if this story works or not. Send it to, like, it's really not that big a deal. People send me stuff in my DMs all the time. Hey, Mr. Emil, I don't know why you call me Mr. Emil. Just Emil. Anyway, Emil, just, can you help me? Is this story okay? Does it work? What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. And most of the time, I actually get back to people. I have some time. I actually read it, get back to people. I give them notes. I know, make it like this, turn it like this. Why is this character here? What's this person doing? Why is he here? Just those types of things. Get people to actually critique your work and take the criticism. It's constructive. Take it. It helps. So that way you become a better writer. And again, for that independent thing that you're doing, yes, you want it to be your voice, you want it to be your idea and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's just you. There's no input. There's no one else helping you do this stuff. You need the help. You need input. You need input from people that have done this. I'm not even saying they're better than you. It's just a bounce an opinion of someone else. And again, not your friend. Please, not your friend. So unless your friend is a writer, like, I can send stuff to Sifa, like, hey, Sifa, what do you think of this idea? She'll send me back on WhatsApp, it's crap. I'm like, oh, shit. But the last time he said I should make some changes and everything. But it's good. No, but see, that's the thing. Is good because I knew like I'm writing as a guy. I'm not in a female point of view. What do you think? And I'll send it to Sifa. I'm like, hey, woman won't say that. What's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, true. And that kind of stuff. And so you need that level of critique and just review. But again, I really don't have a challenge. You guys don't be like me. I mean, not yet. But please, whenever you are commissioned to write something, try to do the best that you can. Research. Do as much research as possible. I might be going blind into writing about financial crime. I don't follow anything about financial crime. It's not my thing. But because I am interested in that, I'm like, okay, let me go research financial crime just so I can get this story right. I'll do all the research. I'll come back to you like, hey, I found this, and this. Can it work for the story? They're like, okay, yeah, great. Let's go ahead with it, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think the only challenge that an indie filmmaker or a script writer you would have is not coming up with a good idea, not being disciplined to follow up on your ideas, and just taking as much time as possible to not turn in your ideas. Deadlines. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the deadlines. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Nothing like African time. Yeah, nothing like that. Yeah. Because honestly, forget your creativity and all that stuff. The thing that you have to cherish the most is your reputation. That's the most important thing ever. You can say you're the best writer in the world, but you're difficult. You're the best writer in the world, but you don't keep to deadlines. I'm not gonna call you for work. It's just not gonna happen. You say you're a writer, this and that. I go to your Instagram feed, it's all selfies. Where's your work? You don't have any of those things. Is there a YouTube link? You're like, I'm a writer, I don't need a show reel. Yeah, you need a portfolio. You need it somewhere. Have it accessible, whether it's on your Instagram or somewhere. Put a link to my work somewhere. Open up a Medium page. I have just 2 things on Medium. That's all. I don't have time for these things. But my Medium page is just a list of writers that I've worked with, and people are actually accessing that link just to look for people to work for. Because I took 2019 or 2020. I took like a couple of months just to research all the writers in Nollywood, their names, their addresses, and their phone, their contact details, and I put it there just so it could even help me. When I needed people to come fill a writer's room, I'm like, hey, let me call these people, that kind of thing. So yeah, just be disciplined and do the research, look for mentors, and once you position yourself in such a way, I don't think you have any challenges. You shouldn't. Yeah, you really shouldn't have any challenges. And if nobody's hiring you, go and write your own film.
Okay. On that note, go and write your own film. So how many people are writing their films here? How many people? All of us. Okay, good. Please call me. Call me. Just call me. I consult, okay? Thank you.
So you know how we're here to help. Emil just said something about putting yourself out there, put your work out there. Sifa and I met that way. How I met Sifa, she had put an excerpt of her book on was it Facebook? Yeah, it was Facebook. I didn't know her from anywhere. I was just going through Facebook and I saw an excerpt of her book, and I thought the dialogue was beautiful. Like, I've never seen anybody write dialogue that beautiful. It was excellent. And that was how I got in touch with Sifa. And that was how we wrote Sons of the Caliphate season 1 and 2. And that is how Sons of the Caliphate is one of the best. I will say it. I don't care if you don't agree. It's one of the best shows that have been produced from this part of the Niger, and it has impacted the country and the entire world for anybody that has seen it. It revolutionized Nollywood in a way that people started seeing Northern Nigeria in a different way. And it was after Sons of the Caliphate that we stopped doing Aboki selling Indomie by the gates. We now started having rich Hausa Northern families in Nollywood. And that started because Sifa posted something on Facebook. I didn't know her from anywhere. We met and we wrote 2 seasons. So that's a real life example right now.
Thank you.
And then following up on that also, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot. The worst you hear is no. I'll tell you something. I don't know if any of you is familiar with Beyond the Veil, but it's something with it started with me sending Nadine Ibrahim a DM. That was it. I know she had, and then she hadn't. I think she had just done one short film, right? But then I paid attention. She's northern, and she's in Abuja, and at that time I was living around here. So I just sent her, hello, my name is Sifa Asani Gowon. I wrote for Whatnot, and I noticed that you're a female northern filmmaker. Maybe someday we can work together. She replied, okay, maybe we might. 2 years later, 2 years. 2 years later, she reaches out. She's like, about that working together. And we sat down and created. She had an idea, I had an idea. We merged it together, and that was Beyond the Veil. And again, that's another northern-based series. So shoot your shot. The worst that you hear is no, or you'll get ghosted. But let me just tell you this: it happens even to the biggest. And I know you've gotten ghosted. I know you've gotten ghosted. So it happens to the best, happens to the worst. So just don't be afraid to just ask. Worst you'll hear is no. Best you'll hear is yes.
Okay, thank you. No, you can.
Well, let me add a little word since everybody's doing that now. One thing I want you to take from me is try to explore new terrains. Don't be, don't remain within the realms of what you know. Try to explore things that you think have not been explored. Recently, I featured in Behind the Veil. Beyond the Veil. I didn't know about it. There was a season 1 that I didn't know about. But when I was contacted to be part of the season 2, one of the things I saw from the synopsis that was shared with me, actually affected me. Conversation about Christian-Muslim relationship. Muslims don't want to talk about it. They want to, shy away from it, take it away from, the public space. A writer is trying to explore, that. But these are the things that unite all of us as a people. Try new areas, explore new grounds. Don't try to be shy as a writer. As a filmmaker, actually, don't try to be shy. Get into areas that will, strike a little bit of controversy or interest or some ripple somewhere. So don't just be stereotyped in your thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It feels like we went to like a mini masters, right? I mean, the going and, the conversations. I just wanted to quickly give an example of what happened at FLA. I always try to talk about Film Lab because I feel like the Film Lab Africa was like an ecosystem of, the entire Nigeria. We had films, we had participants from, the northern part of the country, the southern part of the country, the southwestern part of the country, and the stories, some of which you're going to be seeing today, are quite powerful. But then what was quite interesting was that, workshopping your stories. We saw Emil was one of, our story mentors, fantastic, by the way. And, I remember one email that I saw, I think it was from one of your mentees, that said, so Emil has seen my story, and he said it was a fantastic story, but thank God, it wasn't the story that I had before that I ended up shooting. Because I think it did so much work, workshopping, the story to the point where, the participants, themselves felt, oh, I think, something amazing has happened to my life. And then it also reminded me when we were in post-production, right? So every producer was talking to the editor to say, this is how I want my story to look like. And then we took these 10 short films, we took them to the British Council office in Lagos, and then we were watching. I was not watching, I was out of town, but then I was watching from home. And I remember thinking, everybody there was like, we can see, when people are trying to be polite, we can see the dream, we can see the vision, but between the dream, the vision, and what we are seeing here, something went lost. But what saved them was the first post-production edit. We saw it in-house. Imagine if that is what you guys are going to be seeing today. You will walk out. You will walk out, not because there was anything wrong with the story, but because for whatever reason it didn't translate well. So it is the power in workshopping your stories, your films, your ideas, because you are too close to it. and your friends love you. So if possible, I remember someone saying, I think it was Brenda saying, she's the head of art at British Council, and she said, take it to your enemies. Honestly, let them say the worst things about it. You know your film. You know what you've written. So let them say the worst things about it, but then hold yourself, to be accountable to say, okay, this thing that they said is true. This one is not even hating. They are right about it. So, and then it's about that thing you also said about networking. So my page is on private, and I just realized that my Instagram is on private, but my LinkedIn that I use for my work, the link is not on my IG. I feel so embarrassed. I do, because even though your Instagram is on private, is your LinkedIn on private as well? So many people have probably gone to my IG now and they cannot even find what I've done. So, and that is why conversations like this have to happen, where no matter how high you've gotten to in your career, when you're here to listen to these powerhouses, you will leave with at least one thing. So it's been an amazing one, right, everyone? I hope you've written down your questions. Oh, I'm not done. I have one general question. You've said something about people reaching out.
I also wanted to add, this is for writers. A lot of you, you don't like sharing your work. And you're like, oh, somebody will steal my work, and blah, blah, blah. And my comeback for that is that you're not a creative. If that's what you're afraid of, go and sleep. And they'll steal your work, and so what? Come up with something else. You're a creative, Abby. Like I said, I've been coming up with ideas since. So it can't finish. You're just not a one-note person. It can't work. If you have been with that idea for like the last 12 years, and you never get to make that film, would that stop you from actually coming up with other stuff? And so someone stole that idea, and don't go to court, whatever. Come up with something else. Keep coming up with stuff. That's the sign of a creative. Whether it turns into a film or not. I had a story I wrote in 2012. It was supposed to be an animation. There's no money to do animation in Nigeria, at least not the animation that I really want. And recently, I just had the opportunity to turn it into a graphic novel. So the exact same idea, I'm just switching mediums right now, and my story is still going to come out, just not the way I envisioned it, So, and one idea, your idea is still there, one avenue, one platform ends, but you can still transition it into something else. So when they're like, oh, I don't want to share my story, someone, I'll put it out there, somebody will steal it, blah, blah, blah. Now, once you start thinking of that defeatist attitude, I don't really consider you as a creative, because you're stuck, And like Mr. Sani Muazu said, you have to explore other things, explore other ideas, explore other avenues. I never thought I would write a game. I ended up writing a mobile game. I don't play mobile games, but someone contracted me to write a mobile game, and I wrote it, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool. My nieces and nephews are playing it, and like, yeah, I wrote that. They're like, oh, uncle, yeah, I wrote this thing. I'm like, huh. So I put that on my this, and I've written mobile game. Call me for work. It's like that. So don't have that defeatist thing in your head, because if you're writing and you don't want to show anybody, you might as well put it inside diary.
Okay. Yeah, there's no point, yeah. So thank you so much for that, by the way. Thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly, and this is the final question for the panelists, and then we're going to take questions for everybody. You had mentioned where people reach out to you, and then you've helped them to check their stories, you've told them, whatnot. The same thing, what you've said, Sifa, where you said reach out to people, the worst you can hear is no, and what you've said, about, exploring new cultures, and what you've said about looking at around you and then looking at people that have done what you've done. So I want to tie everything to networking. So we know that there is a gatekeeping. We know it has to be said. There's a gatekeeping, and it's okay, it's fine. Gates are meant to be broken or, destroyed, really, one way or the other. But I mean, you can either be a tornado or something will break it. But while waiting for these gates to be broken, what advice, or how would you say in the filmmakers, especially the young ones that are listening to you today, how should they approach networking, within the landscape right now? Maybe something that you have done, or something that someone is trying to network with you. How would you like to be approached?
It's sad because I'm talking to a generation of people that like money. Yes, I'm saying it, you're looking at me, it's true. Half of you, more than half of you in this room now, if I ask you to do something, first thing you're asking me is how much are you paying me? Do you guys know something called goodwill?
Yes.
That is one of the biggest commodities that you have in this industry, goodwill. If you don't have goodwill, you do not have any business being in this industry. And let me explain to you. Because the problem with a lot of you is that you don't know, you don't want to learn, but your shakara is too much. So you've never done anything, or maybe you've just been on one set and they're calling you for the next one and you're negotiating 300,000 naira. I say, are you okay? Like I said, this is an inspired to perspire moment. Listen, when all of us were doing this thing, we started by giving free services so we could learn. My mentor, Steve Gukas, I served him till tomorrow. I am 50. But I still serve my mentor till tomorrow. If Steve calls me now and says, bro, where you dey? We need to go something. We'll finish this thing now because I have to go and attend to. And I'm not kidding with you guys. Not that I'll run, but you must be able to invest. It's important that you invest your time, your creativity, your mind, because it is the more you put that, the more you get. I mean, most of us who grew up in this generation were willing to give, we're willing to add, we're willing to. I have never asked anybody to pay me to teach them anything. I take interns every year. I have people that I've mentored every year. I give people opportunity. I wrote a story just days ago about a young man that started working with me as a cameraman. If you read my story recently. His name is Ima. Ima has been loyal for the last 6-7 years. Doing camera work. He's the only one that knows the camera in that office. If Ima is not there, everybody is confused. But we'll call Ima. Ima will be in local and he will leave what he's doing and come and serve. And it's not that I don't pay him, I do. But he has never had to complain to me about anything. I am currently on set. As I'm talking to you right now, they're on set, but I have to be here. I was going to start this project, and all of a sudden, where the DOP that we wanted to work with said, oh, I can't do it, I'm doing something else. And I called Ima's mentor, and I said, the guy said, no, the money we're talking about is not enough. I was driving to work the other day, and I said, wait, Ima has been there doing assistant camera all this while. Can I trust him with this work? And I called the man up and I said, this is what you need to do. I promise you, and I'm not lying. I went to see the rushes yesterday. My Lord and my God is my witness. You don't understand the level of excellence that this boy has put into this work. Me, I'm even thinking, so you have this material next to you. And I'm saying to you, because Ima has served, and don't get me wrong, he doesn't do free things, but he has never had to come and stand in front of me and say, sir, I won't do this almost until you pay me. Yes. How many of you are investing in people who will help you? How many times have you left your house to say, look, I'm not doing anything, I have so much time, let me go and help these people on set and carry cable? There was a young man that was a dry cleaner on my set for Halita. We brought him as a dry cleaner. Before the end of season 1, he came up to me and said, sir, I want to learn sound. I called Hamisu and said, teach this guy how to do sound. He ended up being a sound guy. And he was diligent. Some of you are so rude and so arrogant. I'm using that word is because I deal with a lot of you every day. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, your conversation is about, how much are they even paying me, sef? That's the title of my book. How much did they pay me, sef? Because a lot of you have that mentality. There is so much happening that you can invest your time and learn. Trek to wherever it is, even if they don't give you food to eat, even if they don't give you transport. Do you know that just being in the presence of a filmmaking set is enough knowledge for you? Yes. That you see, do you understand what it means to be on a set with a Steve Gukas? Or do you understand what it means to be in a writer's workshop? Say they're doing writer's workshop and you're coming there to help them make coffee. And just standing and just listening to how it's done. The process of doing it alone is enough for you to learn. So, you people expect that, somebody sent me a script the other day. I told them I don't read unsolicited scripts. See what he said? He said, this script is going to change your career. Your own career? Yes, it's going to change my career. As far he's so confident that he wrote something that will change my career. I said, the lack of humility. And all I said to him is that, sorry, sir, I don't read unsolicited script because tomorrow now you come and say, Mr. Dimbo stole your idea. I didn't send you. You guys have to understand that there is a paying period. There is a process to this thing. You don't just wake up and say, I'm a filmmaker and that is it. No. There's a learning. Why do you think we're sitting down here? Why do you think that the British Council felt that there was a need for them to do something called a film lab? Why do you think there's a need for it? So let me tell you what you people don't know. I am a huge product. My success rate in this industry is because I'm a product of the British Council.
Another British
Put your hand
Council.
and I'll tell you why. In 2008, the British Council started a project called Creative Lives. And they did something where they went around and looked for 100 young creative entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And we were trained through something called Talent is Not Enough at the Lagos Business School. Yeah. I promise you, my success today, I guarantee you, more than half of it is because I went through that process with the British Council. The British Council will call me, I'll be on top of a Lumo Rock, I'll leave what I'm doing and come. Because it was a learning process. It was something that I learned. And, you know, you just keep going. And by the way, that's where I met my wife. So, you see, it was a, you know, if they're teaching you what you're taking from here, don't take it for granted. Don't just walk out of here feeling like, oh, I just wasted hours. No. You have to live with something in your spirit. Something that says, I can start something. I can do something. Because it is from the starting small. And that's one of the things I learned from the British Council. These guys don't do bogus projects. They like to do small projects, tiny ones, and then they measure it, and then they improve on it. That's how I learned. I used to be a restless creative. Like you rightly said, you have like 6 ideas here. That your own is a joke. Me that I'm sitting down here, I have done things in my head already. I used to be so restless. I will start this grand idea now. It will overtake me. I will be overwhelmed by the idea. In less than 6 hours, another idea has entered. That one has died. But going through the process with the British Council, I learned how to start something and finish. And measuring it and understanding how I can improve on it tomorrow. Yes. Guys, don't take this for granted. If anything you're going to learn today, take something away from whatever we're saying here. And if you just plant on that and just water it and just keep moving. For those of you who really want to do this thing, you get to a certain point and you're discouraged and you tell yourself, this thing is not for me. That's fine. If you want to find something else to do. But for those of you who really want, you have to grind. You have to keep going because some of us are still grinding in this thing. We're still moving in this thing. We're still thinking of ideas. We're still networking and we're still talking. I mean, they said it. I mean, me and Emil were talking about something recently. We've been talking about these things with Sifa. Guys, don't take it for granted. Whatever you're hearing here, however you're going to apply it, be very thankful that some people are sitting down here and they're helping you with this knowledge. This registration is free, Abby. Very free. It's very free. Very. In this T-Pain time, you clap for yourself, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was quite powerful. So talking about the building strong networks, you know, how would you say that, you know, young indie filmmakers or young creatives really, you know, how should they approach building strong networks within this landscape?
I am a filmmaker, but most people know me because I think I'm more in the eyes of people as an actor. Recently, a young man who happens to be the son of one of my friends that I've not seen for a long time called me and said, "You've been, you know, my role model. I want to be an actor like you." And I said, "It's good." He sent a WhatsApp message saying, "I want you to mentor me." I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to mentor you." And then he sent me another message saying one of the top films he had watched me in, you know, before, he wants to feature in a title like that. Now, I asked him whether his father, who happened to be my friend, had told him how long I have served in this industry before I got to featuring in that title. And after discussing with his father, he got back to me and said, "How do I start?" I said, "This is better." Now, I brought this story for you to understand that networking is different from going to school. You may want somebody to teach you to do what you want to do, and that's your teacher. But where you're going to somebody who has been there, you are not looking for just a teacher. You are looking for the ropes. How did the person, get to that point? Now, I won't be your role model because I'm at that point now, at that high point. I will be ready to show you how I got to that point. And it takes time, it takes energy, space, and everything. You cannot be, Rome is not built in a day, so you cannot just be somebody today. It takes time, it takes patience, and your attitude is actually your defining, quality. If you have the wrong attitude, you go nowhere. Your attitude to what you think you know, your the way you relate with professional callings can make you a professional or can mar your journey to becoming a professional. So it is very important for you, whenever you see people that look like mentors, to find out how did they get there. Because it is in the narrative, they tell you, that you will learn the rope to also get there. For us in this industry, workshop today is such a big issue in scripting. I came from a background where story workshop is actually the kickstarter for every creative story writing process. You want to write a script and you want to hide it from people. This is strange to people like me, because where I came from, my background is the moment you have the idea, you are calling all the right people, you want to sit with them, you want to throw that idea at them, and there and then someone will shoot it down. Somebody like Zakamata, he will shoot it down there and then, But that is the way to really come up with quality stuff. Quality is not something, in most cases, it is a process that has gone beyond not just one realm of thinking, but several. You need to network with the right people for you to arrive at the right quality. Madazi would, come at any point in time. When you call him, he will sit through your ideas and he will never ask you for a kobo. In most cases, what we do is just to buy a bottle of Coke to ourselves and, eventually something good will come out of it. And when he calls on you, you come too. You're not looking for anything. You just want to contribute your quota to the growth of something. And what I said to that young man is, when I started acting, I never thought I would get paid for it. In fact, I do say to people, whenever I get a good role, I do say to my friends, this guy doesn't know that this role that I see, I can pay to actually play the role. I was that passionate about what I was doing. I was not the kind of person that is thinking what is in there for me. I actually see every opportunity as a window worthy to be expanded into a door. So somebody gave me a window of opportunity. It is me, it is my attitude, it is the way I look at that window that could make me expand it to a huge door for bigger opportunities to come. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much.
I am a proud product of this sort of initiative from the British Council. 2008, the British Council did a project called Creative Lives. The theme of the project was talent is not enough. What they did was they got 100 creative entrepreneurs from Nigeria, young people, and for a couple of months we were at the Lagos Business School. and we were taught the business of, managing our creatives and our talent. And I promise you, and I keep saying this, British Council has a big effect, or had a big effect in what I have become as a filmmaker. So whatever it is they're doing with Film Lab, I think that everybody that has been a part of this project, I promise you, 10 years down the line, most of the filmmakers that are going to take over this industry, if they will tell you that it was because of the Film Lab project. So this is an amazing opportunity, and it is. And because we have limited opportunities like this in Nigeria, I feel like this is something that those who have become part of are very lucky to be part of this project, and they should not take it for granted, because going forward they will see how much their lives will change and how much their crafts will change because of this project.
I spoke a moment ago. Basically, I spoke about my experiences within the industry. I talked about, the fact that there are plenty of opportunities out there for filmmakers, especially young filmmakers. There are opportunities in, digital platforms like Netflix and so on and so forth. There are opportunities in attending film festivals, because film festival is an environment where you can network, you can, attend some master classes, you can take your products there, you can, have co-production deals. There are so many things you can do as a young filmmaker, who wants to attend film festivals. In the film industry, there is so much, people can do and become if they can lie low, understand that in the creative sector, you really need to invest. And you can't be an apprentice and at the same time looking for money. No. You need to invest to learn before you can get to that point.
So the same question, yeah, the same one. There's a reason. I mean, we've heard so much about approach to networking, and if there's been a difference, and it, as you can see, it's through personal experiences. So I want yours too. How can young screenwriters, how can they build strong networks? For example, you've built strong networks. How did you get there? Well, I mean, I'm not going to ask you to tell us everything, but just a couple.
Okay, well, I'm still in the process of networking. I think that you just have to be very deliberate about what you're looking for and what you want with the particular people that you're networking. Of course, there's general networking, like in an event like this, you never know who you'll meet, right? But privately, I will go off what Dimbo said, and this is not just researching on the general scale with industry, but research individuals. Who is it that you want to talk to and why? It's, don't just do blanket emails or whatever, find out who is, as a screenwriter, if like I said, I'm more of a drama, romance, rom-com person, right? Find out the people who have either done that, maybe producers that you might want to work with, or investors. You need to do your research. And when you're approaching people, don't be a creep. No, really. It goes without saying to be polite, but I think that you should also be very mindful of your tone. Be very mindful of who you're approaching. It's vastly different, in my experience, how you approach females versus males. It's also, don't be over familiar, right? Be very mindful of cultural nuances, right? I generally, and this is just me, I generally tend to start by addressing people with some kind of title. So if I'm not sure, it's Mr. This or Miss MS, not MS, Miss This. Let them tell you the level of familiarity. Americans go straight to the name, right? But you don't try that. It's not everywhere it works. So it's better to err on the side of caution, and then have them tell you, oh, call me Eric, or call me this and that, right? Don't don't step up to people with a level of familiarity you have not earned. Be very polite, be straight to the point. Go over. Sometimes what I do, if I have a query email, I'll run it by a fellow writer, or I'll run it by a producer, because they're the ones that receive emails. So I'm part of a group and there are producers there, and I'll be like, does this sound okay? They're like, okay, this is fine, but change this word. Or this is fine, or change this word. Find out what's going on with who you're writing to, if there's been any kind of recent shake-up or whatnot, and try and personalize it. Try and personalize your approach. And when I say personalize, there's a difference between personalizing it and being familiar. It's a very thin line. You're not their friend, but if there was, like recently there was a bereavement in a company, I started by saying that I'm very sorry to hear about the loss of so whatnot. So, because it shows an intentionality. And then from there, you can ask for politely ask if they would have the time to have a discussion with you about so and so. Don't send, like he said, unsolicited scripts, unsolicited pitches. Don't do that. Start by asking them if they would be willing to have a phone conversation with you, or if they would be willing to look at a pitch, or even just email correspondence. So for me, I think that being very polite, don't be subservient, and because we tend again, Nigerians, we veer, I don't know, we don't like middle ground. I don't know, balance is a problem with us. It's either you are extremely entitled and arrogant and telling Uncle Dimbo that this will change your career, or you're so, yes ma, yes sir. That gets very irritating and grating. Just be polite, be concise. That middle ground where you are very, you're polite and everything, but at the same time you don't balance. It takes practice, I know. That's why you should go through several whatnot. So that's my take on networking. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I think pretty much what everyone on the panel has said. Just be polite, don't be a creep, and no, seriously, yeah. I'm going on like 4 or 5 months with hi. How was your night? It was fine. I'm alive. How was today? Today is good. This is every day. But just, until I like, dude, what do you want? What do you want? Sorry, sir. Please, sir. I see a filmmaker. I can act. I can write. I can do all those things. Not knowing that in the last 4 months I've been to your page. I've looked at your profile, and all I've seen are selfies. There's no link. And some of them are even private. So, and the thing is, okay, so I have a personal page. Mine is private, but I have my work page. And go to my page. Everything there is film related. Yeah, my page is personal. Unless I know you, we can gist. But be intentional. What do you want? Oh, I want to be a writer. Have you written anything before? And I've written so and so. Oh, yeah, send. Let me read. But just like Dimbo said, don't send me any scripts. I've added like 6 new ideas to the ones I've come up with already. So I'm not going to make your film. I'm struggling, looking for money to make my own film. So I'm not going to make your film. So you need to be intentional. What do you want from me? You want to be in a writer's room, or the next workshop, come around. I'll, if you're in Abuja or something, or wherever the hell I am, you come. But I need to see what you have done before. I need to be able to like vet you and say, man, this person kind of knows what they're doing. They just need a little push in this direction, and I can probably help you out with that. I might not have time to talk on email. Yeah, I can do a phone call. I've done this. I've done this over the last 13 years, 14 actually. I've like I said, I've helped people and all that. Some of them have dropped off, which is fine. They say filmmaking is not for children. It's not. There are days, there's no food, sometimes you're looking for a place to sleep. Anyway, but the good thing is, it gets better because I'm looking at this crowd. I'm seeing a section of writers. I'm seeing maybe some cinematographers. I'm seeing some financiers. I'm seeing some directors. I'm seeing some, producers. All of you, The networking is here already now. All of you, like, you put yourself into little groups. You see extras. So, Wakapa, see. It's true. I mean, you guys might be here, you might be here listening to us, but guess what? Long time ago, I was in a crowd as well, looking at, people, like, wow, I want to be like them. I was in a room with Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. I went for this South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, long time ago. Robert Rodriguez was there. Tarantino just did Inglourious Bastard, not Inglourious Bastard, Reservoir Dogs. This is like 93. Yeah. I was a kid in college, and I was like, I was a kid in college, and I'm like, wow. And I got up to Tarantino, and I asked him, like, hey, I love blockbuster films. You used to work at Blockbuster. That was your film school. Same thing here. I used to watch TV as a kid in Nigeria and blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, keep watching. Keep watching more films. Watch more films. Watch. Don't stop watching films. He was talking and he was walking away. It was like, keep watching. I'm like, oh, okay. And that was it. I mean, this guy told me to watch more films because every time my dad would come back from work, I'm planted in front of the TV watching, He-Man and everything. Like, what's wrong with this boy? But today, he's like, I see what was wrong with this boy. He used to watch films. He used to watch a lot of films. But when it came time to, like, this is what I actually want to do with my life, I can't really do anything else. But I went up to these people. I'm like, hey, I want to be a writer. And yeah, watch more films. But don't I need like some kind of degree or a school, something? No, who's ever going to ask you for a degree? I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. Okay. But let me just have it so that I can make my mom and dad happy, I go to college. I'm studying creative writing, and I'm meeting all these other people. I'm in a class like everyone else, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? I'm a writer. Oh, what are you doing? I'm a script reader. Oh, what are you doing? This and that. So I already formed my circle. Let's go and conquer the world. And I came back to Nigeria. Okay, 2009. I'm back in Nigeria. I have absolutely no skills apart from what I know in my head. Yeah, I've been to college and all that, but I don't want to use that degree for anything. Okay, I see a film by Teco Benson. His Facebook thing is on the back of the VCD. I go to a business center. I write out like this very long email. Hey, I watched your film. I think it's good. It's parts 1, 2, and 3, but I think it could be just one film. And this is how you do it. So I write out this whole script, and I send it to him. And I go back to living my life. Like 2 months later, he responds. He's like, young man, thanks for your email. Wow, this is a very interesting script. You have condensed my 3-part film into just one 90-minute film. Congrats. There's someone you should meet. Okay, I waited. 2 more months. Someone from Tinsel called. And that's how I got my job on Tinsel. Just from me reaching out to Teco Benson. Till today, I haven't met him at all. But he was that guy that sent me stuff months later that just said, oh, yeah, I can do this in Nigeria. Because I didn't think I would be able to do this in Nigeria. And long story short, like everyone I know now, I met between 2009 and 2010. Wow. Yeah. They're still my network. I'm still talking to these people. I met Dimbo, I met you 2015. Yeah, I was actually on the British Council thing in Edinburgh. You sent me Sons of the Caliphate. You're like, hey, my brother, something's wrong in this story. How can you fix it? And I gave you some notes and all that. I didn't ask for anything, remember? Yeah. And next thing, like, it was like, oh wow, this thing is coming out. I was very happy. Yeah, I was very happy about it. I didn't ask for anything. That was the level of networking that even Dimbo was doing. That, hey, I heard about you, this and that, and I think you're this. Can you help me fix this? And I looked at the idea. I was like, yeah, this is great. Let me get back to you, because I was doing British Council stuff. But I got back to you on Facebook Messenger. I wrote like a whole thing. I sent back. I'm like, yeah, do with this what you will, and good luck. And that was it. And since then, we've been friends. We're together. We're colleagues. We're still working. So, despite if we can't get back to you on anything, you guys have the resources already. You know, if you're strong in this thing, if the passion is there, you guys, the networking is already here. You don't need to go to another film festival, Abuja Film Festival. You don't need to go to Afrif. You don't need to go to all this place. You guys are already here. Exchange numbers. You, what do you do? You, what do you do? You, what are you doing? You know, do you have money? Do you have the camera? Do you have equipment? Do you have story? Do you have this? You guys, the filmmakers, are already here. You know, this is the network. Along the way, yeah, you can ask for like some advice. We can like, oh yeah, okay, try and do it this way. Or maybe you guys have a writer's room and maybe the project just hasn't landed yet. We can come on board and like, yeah, just take a look at it and put you in the right direction and just, you know, let you guys do your thing. Not to control, not to determine where it goes, just to help you guys figure out what you want to do. So the networking is already here. You guys are already here. And if you guys are serious about this thing, I don't know how many people are here, but I really would love to see like the next, you know, great filmmakers from Nigeria come from this room.
Wow!
You know? And because, see, I said this thing too, film won't kill me. So like when I'm retired, you know, hopefully a long time from now, I want to be sitting in my house watching TV, and I'm watching a film that one of you guys have made. That will give me so much joy, you know, to know that it didn't end with us. You know, it's like I don't even want to be in Nigeria. I want to be in another country somewhere. I want to be watching TV and then the film that I'm watching. No, it's good because as much as we want this thing to be global, you know, we have to understand our films first. You know, like make films for Nigerians, tell Nigerian stories. We're the only ones that understand what's going on here. You know, forget you want, you know, people in abroad to watch your films. Yeah, they can watch it, but they might not be able to understand it. They might not appreciate it. You know, so I'm saying that not because I've jackpot or something. I want to be in another country, and I'm watching a Niger film, and I'm telling people, that's a Niger film. Sit down and watch this thing, you know, and it's from one of you guys. So that will actually be my greatest joy. But yeah, you guys network. The networking is here and all that stuff. But anyway, you guys need to reach any of us. I mean, I'm pretty open. I'm pretty normal guy. I'm pretty friendly. If I'm not busy, I'll get back to you. I know a couple of people here know me. I haven't turned anybody away or anything like that. I'm an open book. I will help you as much as I can. But I can't hold your hand and cross the streets. You have to do that yourself. You have to want to cross that street. You know, I can tell you and take this road, not that one. But you need to be able to take that road and go, you know.
In my own perspective, I believe that films are a film is not just as good as the cinematography, although that is amazing, cinematography, cast and crew and all of that, but there is a need to ensure that the story is right, first and foremost, and that's where I come in, that's my job. So I was just giving some advice, and some of the advice sounds very asinine, but it actually isn't. Things like vocabulary and spelling and punctuation, like the rudimentary basics of it. You would think that, that goes without saying, but that's not the case. And even things like networking and approach to not just your craft, but to the people that you will meet in your journey with your craft. How to approach networking, how to approach individuals that you would like to meet, that you would like to learn from. My own experiences and how that has impacted me. And I just gave a little bit of advice on what I think as writers, budding writers could do that could make their journey perhaps just a little bit easier.
We need to be training across the board. Across the board. Just like you get certification for like your driver's license, you need to get recertified every time. You know, even as a writer, for me as a storyteller, like I said, I still look things up. I keep learning. I apply to labs, Durban Film Lab, Realness Institute Screenwriting Lab, you know, Cinephilia Workroom. I apply. I keep applying. Like, Emil, why are you still applying? Don't you know everything? Like, no. You can't know everything now, but I want to be better because the script I wrote last year is not the same as the script I wrote this year. I can see a change.
Today I really enjoyed myself because I got to learn a lot from the panel session, how to network, and I'm not even a filmmaker, but I learned a lot about networking. You know, be intentional about yourself, know what you are doing, and then do it well. Do you understand?
And it also spoke about the business part of it, how to secure yourself. For instance, you're sending your script to someone else, you have to
have to have a contract with them, non-disclosure agreements, so that the person will not steal your idea if you're scared. But all in general, it was amazing. I won't lie to you guys, it's really fun.
I really appreciate this. I mean, from the talk session, it was really nice. I mean, where we get people who have been there to share with us things that make us that are on the grassroots to get there, you understand?
For me, the main reason why I came here was because I wanted to meet the people that have been advertised here that were going to speak, especially on filmmaking. Although I'm a digital media content creator, a broadcaster, I've always wanted to delve into filmmaking, especially about telling stories about Nigeria, our rich culture and the people. And I've had one-on-one interaction with some of the participants and even the guest speakers, and I'm leaving here a better person, I'm better informed, and I know that I need to equip myself if I'm going to play a role in filmmaking in Nigeria and beyond.
Obviously, the reception was amazing. I mean, the number of people that came in, the feedback, the excitement, you know, the energy is just right, you know. So yes, I mean, Film Lab obviously is here to stay. So I'm just looking forward to what we can do with it again.
Like I saw the movie lineup and I'm like, we die here. I'm going to really see all of them, because for those movies to be selected to be shown today, it means they are top notch. So I mean, what's the rush?
I do just want to enjoy the movies. I know they've been selected because they've passed through a process, and of course these guys have been in the business for a while, so of course I'm just wanting to enjoy myself.
As Igbo man, culture, tradition, expectation na number one. Them three, they linked. Your choice na second choice.
Okojo barambana mmemme kenga.
After I deliver these papers, give Hajia Khadija. I don't know waiting it be, but something just dragged me.
Coach.
Yes.
Hey, I beg, sir, no verse, no verse. I go like joy.
The sewing machine I promised you and your daughter.
Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ o, ẹ ṣé. Wo, ó yá, kí ló ṣe tó dúró bí olúndù.
Why are you crying now?
It is tears of happiness. We won't express happiness any.
Well.
Salamatu.
Jumana, see our guys. Yeah, I
pray my dreams become real. Dan karban hannun makiki ya sani in farka da dare.
Jumana, see our guys.
It was a wonderful experience. This is the first for me. Like, it's so wonderful. I've never been to something like this. And the movies we preview, Festivals of Slap and Dambe, wow, is wow. I grew up in Kano. I've been to Dambe's fight, but the whole narrative and the story he gave here was really mind-blowing. I want to do this another time.
Those movies they are mind-blowing. The producers, the directors, they did excellently. I love the fact that I came here today, and I would love to be a part of every other programs being organized by British Council.
It's been so engaging and informative, honestly. I am super excited to be here. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people, and it's been amazing. I'm going home with a lot of questions in my head, and also got a lot of answers to some of the questions I came with. I believe this is a beginning of something great for me, just being here.
I really had fun at the program. I watched some short films and I really learned a lot.
The films we saw, I mean, these are crazy things by up and coming movie makers. That's really something nice, and I really appreciate it because it has stirred in me something really superb that I shouldn't, I have a fear of nobody's even there to listen to what I have to say, but then this platform is really giving me that certainty now. So I'm walking out here confident that I should just have to script it. Somebody is there to pick it up and do something with it. Thank you so much for the resource persons. Thank you so much, British Council, for this beautiful opportunity.